Hey, this is Dylan Novacek from Music in Minnesota.
Hey Dylan, this is Brian from Novacek Party.
Hey, Brian, how's it going today?
Good man, how are you?
Good. Do we got Danny on the line too?
He'll be joining us probably in just a minute. He's calling from a different number.
All right, awesome, cool. Do you want to wait for him or get started?
Yeah, let's wait. Wait a minute. He should be on any minute now.
All right, cool. With me is my fiance Kayla, and she's a really big fan of NSP.
Hello.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Kayla.
It's really cool hearing you speak because usually Ninja Brian is silent.
I'll see you there.
All right, cool.
Hello.
Hey, Danny.
There he is. Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, my name is Dylan Novacek from Music in Minnesota. Thank you so much for talking with us.
No worries, Dylan. How's it going?
It's going real good. With me is my fiance Kayla, and she's a giant fan of the band.
Hi, Dan.
Oh, sweet. Hey, Kayla, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
So good right now. Thank you for being a fan.
Yeah, thanks for talking with us today. So we want to talk about the new album and also the tour. So your new album, Coup Patrol, came out recently, and it has hit really great heights so far, reaching over like millions of views on YouTube and being the number one in the comedy charts. What's it like finally like reaching this huge level?
Oh, Brian, you want to start it off? It's really gratifying. You know, it's like anything we do, we always, we put out something new or whatever it is, a video or an album, and every time we're like, is anyone going to care about this one? I don't know. And then, there's the level that it got to, which is amazing in and of itself. But just the fact that people are still like psyched about what we do is, it just, I don't know what we did to deserve it. Like it's really. It just feels like we kind of lucked out and got all these amazing, wonderful fans who keep showing up for the stuff we're doing, whether it's videos or albums or live shows or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're always there, and it's incredible.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think for us, like everything is so day by day. You know, we sometimes forget that it is getting crazy, and then just these yardstick markers will pop up out of nowhere, like an old friend or your family or someone outside of yourself in your life mentions how crazy this is, and it kind of makes us take pause and think, oh shit, yes, this is crazy.
So it was like
it's
one
very
moment.
weird. It's hard to explain.
What was like one moment, like in your career so far, where like you had that reality check without like someone telling you, like one moment when you were like, this has hit a great point for us?
Conan O'Brien wasn't bad.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, of all the whole experience of that kind of came out of nowhere and was very exciting and cool. But I think the coolest part was just seeing him, get out of his desk and bop along to the music near the camera, and when he came over and thanked us and said he liked it afterwards, it was very genuine, and just that moment of, hey, here's this guy who I used to watch every day for years and years, and he's right there, and he's excited to meet us. It just, that was very surreal.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it felt like the first thing we'd ever done also that was like kind of mainstream,
Mm-hmm.
like that really would like basically guaranteed reach beyond the audience that we already have, and that by itself was incredible.
I really enjoyed how you guys censored Danny Don't You Know to Cool as Heck on the inside.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The story about that, not so much a story, but we had, when we recorded this song, we had a really good feeling about it. And we were like, let's make a clean version, like just in case this gets any radio play. And, we've never done this with one of our songs before. It was really the first time. And then we made it, and then when we were putting out the album, it was like, should we put this out as well? And we decided not to. And we were like, oh, well, okay, we'll never use that, whatever. And then when we got the Conan gig, it was like, wait a minute, we already know how to do this. And we had the single like ready to go. So we were able to put it out like later that week as like an official release. So really just kind of, we sort of lucked into having that. We thought it was going to, we just sit in the back vault forever and be released maybe on like a B-sides thing in the future. But we're glad we actually have that available to do.
That's so cool. So speaking of Danny Don't You Know, the casting of Finn Wolfhard as young Danny was an amazing choice. But that made me wonder, who would play an old Danny Sexbang?
An old Danny Sexbang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be Kenny G, right?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I think it'd be. Yeah, that's a good answer.
I think someone did like the Pokemon evolution of Danny, and it was Finn Wolfhard, myself, and then Kenny G. And so I think that idea is already out there.
That's funny.
That's so cool.
We should get in touch with him. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Now, who would play young Ninja Brian?
Ninja Brian.
Yeah, I thought that's when I wrote that question, I was like, isn't he just kind of like ageless? All right,
Yeah, he's immortal.
I believe it. So my favorite track on the album is First Date, but part of me really hopes that it's not autobiographical.
No.
Yeah. So, Danny, how was your first date?
My actual first date?
Yeah.
I was 13, and I took a girl named Jody Stark to the Florham Park roller rink.
Look at you.
At, the roller skating rink. My mom drove us over, and geez, I haven't thought about this in a while. One thing I didn't know about dates at the time is that it's traditional to actually spend time with the girl you're on a date with. So what the date was Jody skating in a circle by herself on the roller rink, and I was playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video games on the side. And but the good thing about it was
that actually sounds like an awesome date to me.
Well, that's the thing, because she didn't know what a date was supposed to be either. So like the next day at class, she passed me a note and it said, "Thank you for the best date ever."
Oh,
so sweet.
That's so cute.
I know. I love that.
That's amazing. All right, but seriously though, let's talk about the album for a bit more. It was so well produced. Can you talk about some of your producers and collaborators and how they affected the overall production?
Yeah, so this was the first album that we put out with our now like producer we use for everything. His name is Jim Roach, and we now co-write pretty much all the songs with him. There are a bunch of songs on the album we wrote before we started working with him, like "Courtship of the Mermaid" and "Cool Patrol," the title track, "Eating Food in the Shower." But everything else on the album was written with him. And he just we have a new Starbomb album coming out next year that we wrote with him that he produced. And he's just been a super big force for good in our songwriting and recording. And of course, the other people that really made a big difference were TWRP, who now do all the backing instruments for our tracks. So for our first 3 albums, I was doing all the instruments on using synths, just computer instruments. And we could never, those are great for what they are, but it never really sounded like real instruments. And actually, that's a big part of the reason we kind of gravitated towards synth stuff, because that was the stuff that you could write on a computer and actually have it sound good. Like that. I don't know. We never kind of went into it thinking, oh, we're going to do like synth pop kind of stuff. It was just that's what we could do and have it sound the best. So having like real amazing musicians, which Twerp made a huge difference. So Tim plus Jim Roach, it was just like this perfect dream team of collaborators.
That's so cool. And also I noticed that Kenneth Harris from Panic at the Disco, he was also on the album.
Oh yeah, so Jim Roach, producer, knew him. They were working on something together, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but he played Kenny Orgy for One, and Kenny was like, "This is awesome, I love this," and that kind of translated to him doing a guitar solo on it. Like he came to a recording session, it was just like the nicest guy ever, and was so just like chill and down to do anything. I thought we thought he was going to like just kind of show up and be like, so what are we doing here? But like he had listened to the song a bunch and worked out a solo that he was going to play, and like really, like had thought about it, and did a great job.
That's amazing. Who's like one person you really wanted to get on board for the next Starbomb or NSP album?
Well, Starbomb's done, so that one is that ship has sailed. But NSP, I mean, Jesus, I don't know. So they're like the people that we are inspired by, like Weird Al, Tenacious D, Flight of the Conchords. These guys would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Who else, Danny? Like, are there any number of like amazing prog musicians that would be so cool to work with?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Like any of the guys from Rush for sure, and
yep,
the Lonely Island. Like there's a lot of good people out there, but our history with working with people has never been. I mean, Childish Gambino would be awesome, but it's never been. It's never been like we want someone and then we go out and request them. It's always our paths cross in some weird way, or they're fans, and then they come into our lives that way.
Really
yeah,
cool.
it's very hard to be like, we're going to go get that guy, because we're not like, we don't really have the clap to just like send out a Raven and get whoever we want to write back.
Right.
But every once in a while, these cool people kind of pop up as opportunities. Another guy actually that's done a bunch of stuff now. Only a little bit of which has been released is Bob Reynolds, who's the sax player from Snarky Puppy. And again, like through our producer Jim, they've done a bunch of stuff together. This guy is like the sickest horn player ever. And now like he did stuff on Starbomb. I'm sure he'll do stuff on the new NSP. He's like this, this guy that just kind of popped up and was awesome to work with.
That's so cool. Well, Tour de Force is coming to St. Paul next week, as well as the Ninja Brian Comedy Luau Spectacular. What can we expect from both of the shows?
Let's see. They're very different shows. But maybe let's talk about the full show first. Full show. So the first thing I want to say is you should expect Planet Booty is our first opening band. Mm-hmm. They're amazing. They do kind of 90s style hip hop. All about it's like the most sex positive thing you've ever heard, and it's just high energy and really fun. Then Twerp does a set, and they're of course Twerp, and they're incredible. And then from our songs, I don't know what you're getting into. It's like there's a bunch of dick stuff, there's a bunch of unicorn stuff, there's a bunch of ninja stuff, usual.
That's so awesome.
There's dinosaur stuff too.
Oh yeah, there's also dinosaur stuff. And then the Luau show so it's everybody who's on the tour except Dan, to give Danny a night off to kind of rest his pipes. Mm-hmm. And so that is more of a variety show. Still, you get Planet Booty and Tour performing sets, but a little bit different than they do at the full show. I do a stand-up set in my ninja costume, which is like a PowerPoint thing, totally silent, just do the PowerPoint. I'm going to be hosting a game show at that show. I'll leave that a secret as to what it is.
Ooh.
And then it's it's just like this fun. Oh, and JP Incorporated, who is our tour manager, does a very funny like comedy music thing too. It's more like a comedy variety show. Mm-hmm. That also has a bunch of cool bands.
Well, we can't wait to see it. It's going to be so awesome. Do we have any time for some fan questions?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Here's one from a fan named Taylor Gardner. She asked, I'm sure you guys have got this question before, but how did you come up with the name Ninja Sex Party?
You want to take this one, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't too much of a story attached to it. Like, I realized, I don't know if this is a less, like, fun answer than would be expected, but, like, it really came from being in bands that kind of went nowhere for a long time, and realizing that if I was going to start from scratch a third time, I needed to come up with something like super eye-catching and interesting, right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And also, there were a lot of bands that I loved that had names that really worked against them as far as like Google searches go. There was one band called South from England that I thought was amazing, and another band called The Music that I loved a lot. But if you try to look them up, you couldn't find them because those words would just get buried. So I figured, well, no one else is going to have this combination of words, you know. and then it was when I talked to people about it, the response, like their eyes kind of like lit up a little bit, and the response was cool. And then the idea of what would that actually be, you know? And it was like, well, we need a ninja, and we need, you know, I'd love to be like a stupid spandex 80s guy.
A spandex butterfly?
I met Brian. Yeah. And I met Brian, and he was so incredibly perfect. And then he just took the idea of a ninja that, you know, silently plays piano and murders people and just took it, you know, to a cosmic place that I never could have dreamed of.
So it kind of beautifully spiraled into this awesome project. That's amazing.
Yeah. It really did.
All right, next question from Andy Johns. He's wondering if there's any chance to have a Ninja Sex Party on vinyl.
Oh yeah, that's something we keep thinking about. It's the reason that we haven't done it yet is because we want to. We don't want to just like put out a lame vinyl. We really want to spend some time designing it and, well, you know, really make it something cool and special. And we're so busy with a million other things like new albums, videos, Starbomb, all that stuff. We haven't really had a chance to like sit down and do it. But that's hopefully next year we'll get something going on vinyl.
That'd be so cool, so cool. And one more fan question from Kayla. This is for Danny. Dan, ever consider working on music for Sky Hill again?
Yeah, you know, I'd always be open to it. The guy I was in that band with, Pete Lennox, is a very talented dude, but I honestly don't know how high music is on his priority list or even his like leisure time fun list. So at best, I think it would just be a song here or a song there every couple of years, but that's fine. You know, I'd rather do one song where a band member is inspired than try to crank out an album where someone's not feeling it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But also I'm so deep into NSP and Starbomb and this world that we've created, and I'm meeting new cool musicians all the time through NSP, like the Super Guitar Brothers, and like Brian mentioned, those horn players. What's the guy from Dave Matthews Band, Brian?
Rayshawn Ross.
Yeah, Rayshawn Ross. Like we're just getting exposed to these amazing players of all kinds. So it's a little bit the desire to look backwards is, you know, receding every day, and because the present and the future is so interesting, you know.
That's so rad. And you guys seem to have like a really bright future, like just being within your fan base. Like everyone's always just so excited for like the new music videos to come out. Like it's really a huge community between like Game Grumps fans and like Ninja Sex Party fans. Like you guys really made something like super special for everybody. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That's really awesome to say.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for questions.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to let you guys know something too. I don't know if it's relevant, but I have a Minnesota connection. Do you guys know about this? Do you know the Half-Assed Morning Show on 93X?
Yeah, I listen to that pretty often.
Josh is my brother-in-law.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's some like local connection there too.
That's awesome. Cool Minnesota ties. Are you gonna do any like Prince covers when you guys come to town? Because I feel like every band covers Prince when they come to Minnesota.
I can confirm that we will not.
Honestly, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's all the questions we have for you guys. I think we allotted like 15 minutes on your schedule, but we kind of went over. Sorry about that.
No, that's cool.
Dude, it's no sweat. We're always happy to make time for nice people.
Thanks. You guys are the nicest, though.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you guys.
Have a great day.
All the best. We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.